Good morning, everyone, and happy Independence Day. I hope you look forward to celebrating our freedom that we enjoy in America today. 249 years ago. Just think about that. Next year, we will be celebrating the 250th anniversary of that 1st July 4, 1776, and the Declaration of Independence. I remember graduating high school in 1976, the 200th anniversary of our country, and all of our decorations, practically everything we did, the cover of our yearbook, recognized, celebrated that anniversary, and I think next July should be a lot of fun. But anyway, I hope you have a great Independence Day. For our devotion this morning, we are in Proverbs chapter 25. And the first part of Proverbs 25 deals with the king and how to have relationships with the king and what to do and not do and all of that. But that's not the part that really grabbed my attention or spoke to me. It was some of the similes you find in the latter part of Proverbs 25. For instance, verse 14, where he says, like clouds and wind without rain. Wind is blowing, clouds, sky's getting darker. Think, man, we're going to have some rain. And then it doesn't rain. Kind of disappointing. Like clouds and wind without rain, he says, is a man who boasts of his gifts falsely. Oh, I can do this, I can do that, I'm talented, I can. And you find out they can't. The truth is, you can only fake it so long. Eventually, talent or the lack of talent shows up. Discipline or the lack of discipline eventually shows up. You can't fake it forever. And it's very disappointing to those around you when you fake it and they find out you're a phony. So be honest. Verse 18, he says, like a club and a sword and a sharp arrow. I mean, those are two things you can do damage with. A club, beat somebody, a sword, cut somebody, a sharp arrow, penetrate, shoot somebody. He said, and that does damage and hurts people. He says, in the same way is a man who bears false witness against his neighbor. When you lie about someone, now your neighbor's not just the person in the house next door. Your neighbor, Jesus said, is anybody you encounter. So when you lie about people, you are hurting them, injuring them, beating them up, cutting them, and it's wrong. Another one is verse 19, where he says, like a bad tooth. You ever had a bad toothache? I remember when I was a young man waking up, oh, wow, and had to have my wisdom teeth cut out because they were infected. I was so glad to get that shot and that medicine. But anyway, he said, like a bad tooth and an unsteady foot. Now, I'm getting a little bit older. I'm a little more familiar with that one. I have to be careful. Like a bad tooth and an unsteady foot is confidence in a faithless man in time of trouble. They end up letting you down and hurting you. You need to know who you can trust and have confidence in, who is trustworthy. And the truth is, trustworthiness long-term is shown long-term. What you look at people's track record. Are they not perfect, but are they consistent and dependable for the long haul? And you don't always go for the flash in the pan. Just a word to the wise. Also, verse 26, where he says, like a trampled spring and a polluted well. Trampled spring. Growing up on the farm, we had springs and creeks and a bunch of cattle, cows run through it, muddy it up, do other things in it sometimes too. So like a trampled spring or a polluted well, somebody poisons a well, throws something in the well to make it so that the water would make you sick. He said that is like a righteous man who gives way before the wicked. In other words, you're righteous and you're doing well and you're being faithful to Jesus, you're being faithful to your family, you're doing well, and then toward the end, you blow it. You don't finish well. And it's really sad. And it hurts people. It's one of the common themes in these similes in this chapter is that people get hurt when we're not the real deal. I think about King Solomon, who started so well and built the temple in Jerusalem, but he did not finish well. And during the time of his son, the kingdom of Israel had civil war and divided into two kingdoms, two nations, and they were never one nation again after that. We all have known prominent people or people in our own lives who were doing so well, but then they blew it near the end. And one of my prayers for me personally is to finish well. And then on this July 4 Independence Day holiday, I wanted to close or wrap this up with one more simile, and it's verse 25, where he says, like cold water to a weary soul. You ever been out working in the garden or the yard or whatever, or playing sports or hiking, and you're sweaty and you're tired, and man, some water. Nothing as refreshing as some good cool water. He said that's what it's like when you receive good news from a distant land. I thought about that on this Independence Day. And so I prayed for us to maybe hear some good news from the Middle East, to hear some good news with Ukraine and Russia and all the turmoil in that part of the world, to hear some good news from Mexico and the control of the drug cartel. There's so many places where it would just be like a drink of cold water on a hot, sweaty day to hear some good news from some distant lands. Maybe on this Independence Day, with all the freedoms and privileges and joys we have here in this land of the free and home of the brave, we could pray that other places on this planet where they don't experience that right now the way we do, that maybe things could be better there. I'd love to hear some good news from other parts of the world, wouldn't you? So take a moment on this Independence Day and pray like that. Hey, have a great day. We'll see you Sunday in worship. And then Monday, as we jump back in the Gospel of Mark with another devotion from what he says. So God bless you. Happy Independence Day. See you Sunday. Have a great day, everybody.